Okay, in lesson 2 we are going to do ahadith 10 and 11. The learning objectives of ahadith are to define the main teachings of ahadith, describe the importance of ahadith, highlight the important lessons given into each hadith. I hope that you'll be able to identify the conduct of hadith and to explain hadith in your own words. The teaching resources will be used during this lecture are Holy Quran, textbook, reference books, marking scheme, resource books for O-level and past papers. Hadith number 10. I'm reading the hadith first. One who manages the affairs of the widow and the poor man is like the one who exerts himself in the way of Allah, or the one who stands for prayer in the night or fasts in the day. What are the teachings? The teachings of this hadith are that Islam has prescribed certain articles of faith that should be demonstrated in the form of various acts of worship, namely salah means namaz, saum, fasting and other pillars. However, these are acts between Allah and His servants. So Islam, it also requires that fellow Muslims behave with each other in a brotherly fashion as an expression of genuine faith. So the religion Islam, it does not stress upon hukuk Allah or the rights of Allah. It emphasizes on the rights of people as well. The Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, he declared mutual love and care among the members of the Islamic community as one of the prerequisites to the true faith. He also emphasized on several other occasions that the manifestation of faith in Allah is through purity in feelings and good treatment to others. Islamic teachings, they train the believers to develop a sense of fulfilling the rights of God as well as those of the fellow beings. Islam strictly instructs us to take care of the less privileged in the society. So all widows and poor men, they need our support, they need the help. Such people have been equated by the Prophet to a regular worshipper and the one who strives in the way of God. The Quran links true faith with a supportive attitude towards the poor and declares those who fail to do as the rejectors of faith. It is mentioned in Quran, have you seen the one who denies the judgment and who does not encourage the feeding of the indigent? So according to this hadith, the person who takes care, looks after the affairs of the widow and the poor man, so the reward which will be given to him, that is equivalent to offering prayer or standing in prayer in the whole night or fast in the day. So this is the reward for the person who looks after the widows and the poor. Students, I forgot to tell the conduct of the hadith in the teachings. The conduct of this hadith is a communal and individual both, because it is important for both for individuals and for the whole community. Okay, now how can we put these teachings into actions? We can put these teachings into action by taking care of the poor, the needy, the widows, etc. One can prove whether she or he is actually a believer or merely a pretender of faith. The Quran, it links kindness to Tawheed by saying, serve Allah and do not join any partners with him, and do good to parents, kinsfolk, orphans, those in need. So Allah has linked kindness to Tawheed in Quran. The Holy Prophet himself practically demonstrated this. Even if he had to borrow from others to help a needy person, he would do so. In a Muslim society, special arrangements have to be made to support the needy with zakat and other acts of charity. So the Muslims, they should follow the example of the Prophet, who married the widow and often gave away his share of meal to those in need. They should support those in need by regular charity and almsgiving in a way that the honor of the needy, the honor of the needy is not hurt. In another hadith, the Prophet he narrates, there is a man who gives charity and conceals it so much that his left hand does not know what his right hand spends. This means there should be no showing off. The best way of supporting a widow is her remarriage with her consent, and as it is the sunnah of the Prophet, the weak in the society should be supported and taken care of, just like the Prophet himself did in Makkah and Medina. Hadith number 11. I and the man who brings up an orphan will be in paradise like this. And he pointed with his two fingers, the index finger and the middle finger. As we all know that the religion Islam, it instructs its followers to be caring and considerate towards the unsupported and the needy. The religion Islam, it promises greater rewards for such noble attitude, for example, earning the pleasure of God and closeness to his messenger. It also associates such nobility with the love for God, as it is mentioned in Quran, and they feed for the love of God, the indigent, the orphan, and the captive. Care and support of the orphan is greatly admired by the Quran and Sunnah, as both promise huge rewards for those who are kind towards the orphan. This hadith guarantees such people closeness to the Prophet in paradise. For any believer, this is no less than a fabulous award in the hereafter if he'll be very close to the Prophet, peace be upon him, in Jannah, inshallah. So we came to know that Islam is not merely a set of worshipping rituals, rather it is a complete code of life that stresses all aspects of human behavior. Then it tells us the duties of a Muslim towards each other, clearly laid down. Here the Holy Prophet is stating the highly exalted status of the person who looks after the orphans. As the Prophet, he himself was an orphan, so definitely he knew that what the problems an orphan has to face. Such a person shall be in close kinship with the Holy Prophet, who has been awarded Muqam-e Mahmud, and by demonstrating the distance between the two fingers, when he pointed two fingers, so by showing it, the Holy Prophet actually explained his nearness with such a person in the paradise. Okay, how to put these teachings in our daily life? How can we do that? We should follow the example of the society established by the Holy Prophet and his companions, where no orphan child should be left unsheltered. Once the Prophet came across a crying child. Upon inquiry, he was informed that he was an orphan and had no one to support. The Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, said to the child, "Would you not like that Muhammad be your father and Aisha be your mother?" So such is the conduct which we should adopt and treat with compassion all the orphans in our society. Then and only then can we achieve social bliss in this world and the Prophet's companionship in the hereafter. As I mentioned earlier, that the Prophet himself, being an orphan, always took special care of the orphan and the needy. He was reminded in Surah Al-Duha, "Did he not find you an orphan and give you shelter?" It was a help to the Prophet, as he was also an orphan. He therefore showered special love on the orphan. Muslims should imitate his examples in whatever possible ways. They should donate generously for the orphanages run and maintained by various charity organizations. Not necessary to join any organization only. We can look around if we have orphans in our neighborhood, in our relatives, so this is our duty to take care of them, to help them. They should adopt orphan children in the light of the admiration expressed by the Prophet. The best Muslim house is that in which an orphan is well treated. Such noble tasks strengthen the communal bonds among the members of the Muslim community. So this is the way that we can put these teachings into our daily life, or we can have into action. Okay, let's recap today's lesson. In Hadith 10, we learned that the reward for a person who takes care of widows and poor will be equal to the one who offers prayers in the night and fasts in the day. Islam teaches Muslims to help needy for seeking Allah's pleasure. Hadith number 11 teaches that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, gives the good news that anyone who would support an orphan will be with him very close in heaven. It encourages Muslims to look after orphans and be sincere with them, as they will be highly rewarded by Allah. Well, students, this was all for today's lesson. I hope that you have submitted your work for last 4 weeks as it was instructed in the groups. Well, I'm sure that today's lesson is again going to help you in completing your task for week number 6. Well, students, till the next class, take care. Allah Hafiz.